Welcome everyone. Today, once again, we are back to our Friday feature. And I hope you enjoy what we have installed for you today. Now, I'm going to talk about virtual influencer. If those of you who don't know what's virtual influencer, today we will just show you a little bit of virtual influencers it's in the market right now. So what you see me wearing in a very fantastic tight suit here, it's a motion capture suit. What it does is it drives virtual characters or 3D characters, CGI characters that you've seen in movies or videos. But for this instance, we're going to talk about virtual influencer. Virtual influencer is actually a CGI character. So it's a character that is not real. It's fake. It's created in computer softwares, and they are like an influencer, what we have, like a blogger, YouTuber. They introduce products. They can be doing their everyday life. They can also be promoting a brand. So virtual influencer is the same thing. It's just that they are basically not real. Now, what are the benefits of virtual influencers versus the real influencer, like a real human influencers? Now, the benefits of virtual influencers, of course, for a brand or companies, is definitely more controls on what they can do or what they can promote. For example, real influencer, there are limitations on what they can say or post on their social media websites. But for virtual influencers, it's pretty much controlled by the brands companies. They can do whatever they want without much restrictions. That is why there are quite a number of benefits for brands are adopting virtual influencers. The second point is that because influencers are hard to get, you have to go through like a lot of portfolios and all that, right? So it takes a while for us to get the right influencers for our need. But with virtual influencer, we can create or we can customize exactly to the thought of how we want our virtual influencers to look like or to act like, and we can craft their personalities to our liking. Here are some of the famous virtual influencers that I've gathered. Some of them are pretty new, which only have about 300 or 200 plus followers, but there are some which not sure why they're not as good looking, but they can have millions of followers. So this is something that is still very strange, and we are still trying to find out why is there a reason can have a lot more followers compared to the rest. Personally, I like the Imagram, which is the Japanese virtual influencer, because I find that there's a lot of interesting stuff or content that she created. She actually collaborated with a lot of brands. As you can see, there are some influencers, they are not really lifelike or human lifelike. You can see Googimon, which is like some weird characters, but it does have a lot of followers. That is why, sometimes you have to be, I think like some influencers, they try to be very different, but they caters a lot of interest for people to follow and to see what they're up to. We also have the first bee influencers on Instagram. So pretty interesting. A bee can be an influencer. So anything can be an influencer. You see Googimon, you see bees, and I think there are a lot more coming up as influencer. To be honest, I think it doesn't have to be human as long as you have a story to tell. People like to listen to story, and yeah, you can easily gain followers through that. Maybe it could be in entertainment. You would like to relax and just see what exactly is out there and be entertained. Now, our conclusion is, of course, now you don't see much virtual influencer in the market, which is not really norm yet. But I do foresee that in the future, we will have a lot more virtual influencers coming up. The right influencers for you can actually help your brand stand out among those already real-like influencer on Instagram or TikTok, because they are a little bit different. So what stands out is if you do something different, obviously, people will be more interested and be more aware of. Digital content are nowadays created at a very fast pace, very quickly. With digital influencer or virtual influencer, you can actually create very fast content, short, fast content, and entertaining content with just a suit up, just like that. I can just drive the characters in a suit and you can be entertained. And of course, the last part is stories. Stories is the most important of all. Everybody likes to hear story or likes to see stories. So if you look at some of the influencers that I introduced to you guys, just check them out and see what their posts are. Some of them, they just post their everyday life, and it could just be what they're doing, what they are drinking, or where they are at with their friends. And it's just like our everyday influencers. We do see interest of people taking Like for example, I mean, backtrack a bit. Like for example, right now, if I like an influencer, if I like an actor, I would like to see what they're doing, what their life are, just to catch up to the latest happenings. So the same thing goes with virtual influencers. Okay, so that's about it. Short conclusion on virtual influencers.